The Minister of Education, Dr. Moruf Tunji Alausa, has outlined a comprehensive strategy to enhance technical and vocational education in the country. Speaking at the night's annual Implementation Science Conference in Abuja, the minister highlighted the urgent need to provide short-term practical training for the youth, empowering them to contribute meaningfully to society. Dr. Alausa emphasized that the government is committed to incentivizing the training of a skilled technical workforce through a four-pronged approach.
Young Nigerians who are very capable in areas where they will be useful to themselves, not just going to school to study things that they will have a degree, but they are really unemployable. So our focus going forward is to create opportunities for young Nigerians so that they can have opportunity to study courses where they can be useful to themselves, contribute to their community, and then to the nation at large. And also, because of our big population, get them to go abroad, be useful, be productive to other countries there, and we would turn that into capital gain for the country as a form of direct foreign investment. And what do we plan to do? How do we plan to do that in the Ministry of Education? We're now going to focus heavily on STEM. And it's STEM with two ends: science, technology, engineering, maths, and medical sciences. And that's why I'm very happy to be here today to really start laying out the plan of what we want to do going forward in our education department. We're going to focus heavily on STEM. Other developed nations have done this 30, 40 years ago. We now need to do that in a more elaborate and in a more aggressive fashion in Nigeria. As we do that, we also want to build a capacity in our universities. And that's why what you're doing now, we will be doing it at a much larger scale. I met with the Executive Secretary of Tech Fund a few days ago, talking to him about what they do. Right now they have a big bucket of funds that they use for training people in the university. But guess what they do? They will send these people out of the country to train them. The amount of money they're using to train those people, you can use that same amount of money to train 15, 20 people here in the country. And unfortunately, when these people go out after they've been trained, over 50% of them do not come back to the country. So it's just waste and drain of our resources. So what we're going to be doing going forward is exactly what NISA is doing here today. You're futuristic, you look into it, how to better optimize your time, your capabilities, and the money you're using. I'm ashamed to say that the government is 9 years behind you, but it's better to be late than never. So going forward, we'll mandate the Tech Fund to use all this money that is available to train locally. We will encourage people like you in diaspora, exactly what you need here, to come in and help us build capacity. And as we do that, the way we want to do it as well is we provide opportunities that the government, we are the one encouraging you to come. We will invest in paying your passage to come and in logistics. We might not pay you any stipend for what you're doing, but we'll provide all the support for you. And also, beyond doing it, all the people you've collaborated with abroad, people that have trust in our country that want to help us, all our expatriates that really have this extensive repertoire of knowledge. After spending so much of their time in lifelong learning and in research. So we believe as we do this, we'll be able to build more capacity within our university and tertiary education system. And as we do that, we can begin to drive more investment into our educational sector. And the other area we're going to be focusing on going forward is TVET, Technical Vocational Education Training. We've abandoned this as a nation. This is how it works. An avenue that we can get young men and women into the productive sector we're designing a program that we can quickly give them knowledge in practical training, not what we're doing now. That the knowledge teaching is centered around didactics. As we expand our technical and vocational training center, we'll ensure that 80% of this student time is being spent on real practical training, life experience on the trade we're trying to get into them, and 20% on didactics. We believe if we move in these two areas, expanding STEM, aggressively building on our technical and vocational training, we'll be able to redirect our country from where we're churning out a lot of people in the social services education sector. Not that that part is not important, but our university system have so much misaligned their curriculum. You have the University of Technologies being set up. You have the University of Agriculture being set up, and other specialized universities. But guess what? A lot of these universities, University of Technology, offering courses in history, offering courses in social services. That's not the intention why we're being set up. And also, another big problem of what we're having is that we don't have enough lecturers and teachers to teach in the school. We're also going to deploy a lot of e-learning capabilities so that people like you can help us transfer knowledge sitting in the UK, sitting in the United States, or wherever in the world. You can help us teach other colleges, other universities, other polytechnic, and other areas of our schooling system. And I'm just telling you, this is how we intend to move forward very quickly. But let me commend the organizers again for what you're doing. You have been futuristic. You're 10 years ahead of a lot of us. So thank you for this and all our visitors that have come abroad to do this. And thank you.
These institutions will focus on providing hands-on training with an emphasis on ensuring that at least 80% of the learning experience is practical, with only 20% dedicated to classroom-based education. As part of the broader vision to transform technical education in Nigeria, Dr. Alausa announced plans to convert existing science and technical schools into full-fledged federal technical colleges. These schools will offer accelerated 12-month training programs, ensuring the students are quickly equipped with the skills needed to enter the workforce. The minister also assured that upon completion of their training, students will receive entrepreneurial grants to help them start their own businesses, creating job opportunities and fostering economic growth.
Part of our focus in the educational sector going forward, we're going to focus heavily, as I said, on STEM with 2 M, science and technology, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medical sciences. We need to work to provide opportunities for attaining young men and women. Nigeria has a unique demography. 70% of our 220 million population are below the age of 30 years. So we need to quickly move to get them education that will make them employable so that they can be useful to themselves, to the community and the country. You asked specifically about what do we intend to do with TVET. TVET, training in vocational, technical, vocational, and educational training. That's the way we can quickly move to get a lot of people into the technical workforce, give them training that will get them in a short term to be employed, so that they can begin to contribute to the society. And how do we intend to do this? We've laid out a 4-way process. We'll begin to start incentivizing people to go to technical school. We'll pay them stipend to go to school. The school that we're going to identify, some of our all our federal technical colleges and several vocational entrepreneurial institutions that have already been accredited by the Federal Ministry of Education, about 70-something of them in all. We'll bring them into the pool of the center where we're going to be training people that want to go to technical school. We will pay those people tuition for each student that goes in there. And as we do that, we'll help them expand capacity. More resources will go into those schools. And as we move forward, we're just not going to train people in vocational training by staying in class. We'll ensure that they get 80% of their training in the field, in the trade they are being trained in, and only 20% didactics. So how are we going to do that? We will pre-qualify a lot of these apprentices, people that work in the field, doing tiling, doing electrical work, doing plumbing work. Those students will go there and get real practical training, so that by the time they are done with their training, they would be capable to work. And as they finish their training, we are going to create entrepreneurial grant for them to use that money to start their own business. I'll give you an example of one of the areas we're going to start training people. We are adding mechanized training, mechanized agricultural training as part of our vocational training. Those students, when they finish, we will collaborate with Ministry of Agriculture, get them into farm settlement, give them farmland where they can, where we'll be able to farm. We'll give them grant to help them, provide all support for them. And even if you want to do, we're also adding CNG technical training, so that we can start creating pool of technicians that will manage the president mandate to expand, to move our economy to more usage of CNG. We're also going to create another technical vocational training area that will solar renewable energy technician. We're using a lot of solar renewable energy is being put in our houses. We need technicians to manage this, to help install this, and also maintain this going into the future. On top of the other vocational trade that have been identified, plumbing, electrical work, tiling, bricklaying, we will also try and ensure that rather than just get choked with several of these courses, we'll look at the most relevant areas of trade that we need in the country today, where once these students finish, they'll be able to get a job, they'll be able to be employed and start making decent living from their training.